What's going on, gamers? So I just actually did a video talking about the PlayStation Showcase coming tomorrow and other stuff and what was going to be there. So we just got some information here. Jeff Grubb confirmed some stuff along with Tom Henderson. Apparently, there is going to be a new God of War, but it's going to be a 2.5D Metroidvania spin-off set in ancient Greece. So there was a God of War set in Greece the whole time. It's been kind of like a Metroidvania type. I'm not against this if it turns out to be a good game. I'm all for this. I've told people before Nintendo does stuff like this all the time with their IPs. Where it's like 2.5D, 2D, 3D. Here's a sports aspect of Mario, you know what I mean? Here's an RPG aspect of him. Here's him in this world. Here's him in the kart racing. Look where that took off. It's like when you have talent, you can take your mascot or your IP and you can keep it alive for a very long time and give it different variations. And all of them are good at high degrees and different variations. And people will love that type of stuff. It's very important for a platform to have stuff like that. This was the balance that was missing this generation. Is that it was the old over focus AAA, and then they even introduced quadruple A like Ubisoft with Skull and Bones, and then what ended up happening with that? You went way off track, just like Sony went way off track with over Gash Live Service Rush, where it's like, don't forget about your indie games. Don't forget about your AAA indie games. Don't forget about your AA games. You see that balance consistently along with all those other ones. You kind of have to find a balance and always stick to what you're good at. Never abandon that. That was Sony's biggest mistake, where it's like, you did all this live service, but you never proved to the world that you were good at that. And they tried a live service God of War. They got canceled. So they were trying different variations with their series. They are seeing what Nintendo does is actually a really good idea. And I tell people, don't think that gaming is all about AAA. Everything you see AAA once was indie. So we can get a really good game. I mean, so many people are looking forward to Hollow Knight Silk Song. You know what I mean? Metroid and Castlevania. I mean, they've set so many bars for these genres, and people have combined them together, and you've seen amazing games made out of this. So I love my 2.5 D Metroidvanias. You know what I mean? So let's do a little bit of reading here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into this. I had to let you guys know about this. And we're going to get into the post here. So it says reveal probably at State of Play. Well, we see that God of War Greece game in the morning at State of Play, or tomorrow afternoon or whatever. Remember, guys. So I am gonna launch this because it could be something that happens. So I'm gonna have to do 3 videos today. Good Lord, y'all gonna see that when I launch this after my next video coming. Interesting stuff. God of War, The Lost Crown. Reality is often disappointing. Okay, so this guy wants a next-gen 3D God of War. It's going to be like 90 meta. The thing with that is that they got burnt out and they hit a wall with that. They can't do any more Valhalla. They can't go back there. They're done. You know when you hit that limit where you're like, don't do another one of those again? It is amazing, but you need to stop here. There's a time to stop, to know when you need to switch over to something and refresh the entire series. They did the same thing. Think about when God of War 1 launched. How amazing that was, right? What was that in? That was 2.5, right? Or you know what I mean? And they did a little 3D aspect, but you get what I mean. It was left to right, right? Then they did God of War 2, God of War 3. And then when we jumped to the PlayStation 4, what did Sony do? Not Sony, actually. What did Santa Monica do? Because Sony actually tried to deem it dead. If it was up to them, you would not have God of War Ragnarok or the God of War PlayStation 4 version. Just saying, calling it out. Cory Barlog had to work for that. They had to prove them wrong. And he's working on a new IP too, by the way. I wonder if he has some like advisor role on this game. But basically, they changed it up with God of War PlayStation 4. And what happened? They got to take it to the next level. People loved it. And then when we got to God of War Ragnarok, there's some things people didn't like, but it still was an amazing game. Now, you can't do that again with that same world. It won't work. It'll have diminishing returns and people will feel fatigued. You see? So what is Sony doing? They're going to the drawing board, or the developer, Santa Monica, is going to the drawing board, and they're like, let's just do a 2.5D for now. And then there's going to be a huge window between the next God of War. You kind of need that refreshment to miss it a bit so that they can think of better ideas, see what they want to do with the series. Don't rush it out. You know what I mean? So this is why I wanted to make this video, because y'all know how I like to give unique takes on things. It's not disappointing to me. What it is to me is that it's necessary, and like I said, this Metroidvania could be really good. You never know. We have to see who's working on it, what's going on. That's cool with me. Wonder if it uses Ragnarok's engine assets. We'll find out tomorrow. Interesting. I hope it makes Ubisoft's wake up about what they decided to let go off their hands. I know what he means by that. I really dislike Metroidvania as a genre. What? You're tripping, bro. Man, let me get you in that Hollow Knight world. What is he talking about? But let's go over to Tom Henderson's post. This is where everything happened here, guys. So right here said PlayStation State of Play announced for June 4th. Hey, Tom, we will see the rumored God of War spinoff in the show. I remember you mentioned a little bit about God of War returning to Greek Saga. Then Jeff Grubb talking a little bit about God of War spinoff as well, and rumors being Metroidvania. Hearing a lot of scuttlebutt about the 2.5D Metroidvania game or whatever, but yeah, seems to be much smaller in scale than what I initially thought. And then Jeff Grubb comes down here and he says, yeah. He didn't say no. He was just like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know how he is with the big wisdom beard and sitting over there chill, looking goofy like he could be in some, jackass show or something. This guy says you think we see Wolverine. That's kind of pointless, but I don't. There's gonna be some people like I tell you. There's people with this mindset, y'all. They think that if it's not 3D and AAA, it's not something to be excited about, and that's bad conditioning, and that's Sony's fault. The Nintendo community does not think like this. The PC community doesn't really think like this too, because they'll go and play a lot of old games. They'll play indies and support that world too. The PC and Nintendo support the indie communities the most, because Nintendo's still indie in a lot of ways as well. And I just don't think people understand how important it is, like how important this could be for Sony too, to realize how important it is to still focus on indie 2.5D AA games and to rebalance themselves and stop chasing the suicide of gas rushing off the cliff again when you've already got saved. It's not necessarily bad that Sony is doing this with some of their main IPs. I would like to see that happen. It's not bad. So yeah, that's people that just don't have much creativity. I think it always needs to be a $300 million or $250 million AAA game, and if not, it's disappointing. And it's like, bro, not really. This is the direction that they need to go in. Let's see what else some other people have to say. Please no. Also, the Lost Crown, but Kratos. Very nice. Nobody asked for this. Someone on Resetera has leaked the info, which ties into what you're saying. Since we're getting closer, I think it's time to share what I've known and gathered in the past few weeks. This project is basically God of War X Blasphemous. It's being developed under supervision of Sony Santa Monica. Okay, so now we have our answer. Sony Santa Monica is supervising this. Set in Greece before Kratos becomes a god. Deimos will return. But it's like I was saying before, if you think about God of War 1, 2, and 3, everybody loved those games. People still love those the most. And they were kind of set in that type of setting. You're collecting power-ups and all that. So what's the problem with them kind of like, mixing those in together? That's not necessarily a bad thing. So we have some information right here. Going over again. It says, any idea who's developing it? Sadly, no, but I've heard Mega Cat Studios is involved somehow. Okay. So then that means that the main God of War team is working on something. I wonder if it could be Cory Barlog's IP, because he said he's working on his own IP. Let's see if he's still doing that so we can get our answers here. Oh, no, not Cory. No, it's BAR actually. Bar. Okay. All right. New IP. Here we go. SIE Santa Monica Studio, new IP, news and rumors. So they have a new IP. Cory Barlog posts cryptic message on his Twitter account. This is what he said even back then. He's been working on this for a while. Cory Barlog has updated his Twitter images and bio and tweet his lab and Morse code. The Morse code in his tweet reads SIE with one letter per line. Oh, I guess the post doesn't no longer exist, but it's basically about him working on some sort of IP that he's supposed to be working on. I'm pretty sure he still is. Once again, 2024 got updated. God of War developer working on a new IP, and it sounds like it's a sci-fi game. I like Cory Barlog. He's an amazing developer. He's an awesome human being. God of War's alive because of him and his staff. So if people didn't know that, yeah, that's it. But yeah, right here, it just lets you know that he wants to direct his new IP. He doesn't want to be a God of War factory guy, but he'll be around for that series because he loves it, obviously. So yeah, that's what's happening. So let me know what you guys think. I would be excited for this if this could be something that's around the corner. You know what I mean? Because it's been a while. He says he's been working on it for years. So We'll see what that. Maybe this might show up at the showcase. There's a lot to show up. So yeah, we have our answers about this. Are you guys excited for the God of War Metroidvania? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.